Okay, we're continuing our work to build the service portion of the model view service. And we're continuing to work on the CRUD, the create, read, update, and delete for the data model. Our next step is to get the approved descriptions. So we'll follow the same convention. We'll do at static method, async def get approved descriptions, and like up there, it will be a async session that we are getting from SQLAlchemy. And the data type is going to return is a list of the food description. We'll put a little doc string here. Get all approved descriptions that haven't been published yet. Okay. So I'm going to delete this because this is what we're working on. And the result will be await session.execute. And we're going to use a select statement again. So it's good practice to really start to understand how to build this service with SQLAlchemy. And we'll use the where again. Food description dot status equals approved. And we could have an error here, so we just have to be careful about making this correct, because the data type is actually, for the status, it's just a string. And then when we get it back, we're going to order it. The date that it was approved at in ascending order. And these, you can get the order by and the properties from SQLAlchemy documentation. Result dot scalars, because it's a list, and we'll grab all of them. Okay. Whoops. Okay, we're going to get all the food now. So it's a static method. Get all for food. And it will be the session. Will be an async session. And we're going to get the food ID, which will be the unique universal identifier ID. And it's going to return a list of the food description. need to indent it. Okay, I'm going to delete this to do. And then we'll continue on here. So first we need the result. We're going to wait for the session to execute the query. And we're going to select the food description again. Food description, where the food description food ID is equal to the incoming food ID. And then we're going to set the display of it order by food description dot version, which is set in the model, and we'll have it in descending order. Descending order. And we'll just return the list. Return list of the result, which will be scalars. And we'll make sure we grab all of them. And now we're going to delete the description, which is the final method for this section. So we'll have the static method again, the decorator, async def delete. Description, we'll get the session async session. Description ID should be the universal unique ID. And this will return a Boolean to see whether it was successful or not. We'll add a little documentation here. Delete a description by ID. We'll delete the to do, because we now remember to do this. So we'll first grab the food description. I do have a typo here. Get. Okay, this should be get by ID. So I just changed it on what is here at line 52. It's in this. This was a typo earlier. And then we're going to send it the session and the description. So now we have the food ID, but we should probably check to see whether we actually did receive it or not. So if we don't, we'll return false. But hopefully we have it. But we need to first check to see if it's been published or not. So we're going to have an if statement. If food description is published, which is in the model, then we're going to raise a value error. You can still delete it through the admin panel, but we don't want it to be deleted during the review process. Because then the product won't have a description, right? So the thing that you're selling will await delete food description, and we'll await the session commit. Because we're going to commit the change, and we'll return true. Let's review where we are. So the first set of videos, we designed the database model. So this is the model that we've been working with this whole time. So this model here, we also covered the migrations for this model. We're focusing on a piece of AI-generated content, which is the food description. We have to decide what to put into it. The next step, we perform the migrations, which we're using SQLAlchemy and Alembic. And there's some problems with SQLite that we had to resolve. We use SQLite from the console to delete the table, to drop it, and to recreate it. We're now focused on this step, creating the service layer. This tutorial uses the Model View Service, and we're focused on this layer right now. And we've completed step 3.1, which is the basic CRUD, the create, read, update, and delete. In the next series, we're going to go through the draft management. We'll cover review and publishing. We're going to use PyTest to test this service layer. So after completing steps 3.2 and 3.3, we're going to spend time to test it and potentially correct errors before we actually set up the routes. Once we set up the routes, you can set up the UI templates, and it's in this step that you'll have a more graphical web-based interface to work with. So this is the path that we are following. We'll set up the navigation links and add more functionality. But it won't be until step 5 that you'll be able to see it on the UI. But then of this step 3, once we get to here, you can see whether it works or not with the Py testing. If you have problems with the tutorial, would like the outline, the source code, additional documentation, tips on how to deploy it, contact Jesse Kasman, the president of OPKI. He's the guy wearing the hat and eating this delicious loco moco, and this is his email. Basic strategy of working with Jesse is to learn the basics through a set piece of content, gain some experience. You publish your own work. So you modify the application, the project, or create your own, work with Jesse to come up with ideas on how to use AI and the database for your own project. You can then publish this on different sites, including LeapCell or other sites like this, like Fly, and then show recruiters or your public site. That's your own.